Hey, what's up guys? Church is about to get started. Why don't you sit back, relax. I'd like to show you something with this deck of cards here and a friend of mine, my only friend. This is my buddy Fox.
Hello.
And not only am I gonna need Fox's help, but I need two of your guys' help actually as well. No one's real excited to do this, but that's okay. I'm gonna make you. Here we go. Let's go ahead. Sitting on this side of the room, you have brown hair, about yay long, probably Jennifer, probably, that's what I guess. Over here, short blonde buzzed hair, Steve, probably, yeah. Steve, so Jennifer and Steve, you guys are gonna help me, and my buddy Fox. Here's what we need though. I'm gonna have you guys pick cards. You got your marker, right? I'm gonna have you guys pick some cards, and I'm gonna find each of these three cards in increasingly difficult fashion. But before we do that, I need to look for one card, and we're just going to keep it down there. It's just like a keeper placeholder, if you will. So we're going to put that card right there. Do me a favor, will you just put your hand on that card, make sure that, yep, that's perfect. Awesome. All right, here we go. We're going to have these, and here's what I need. We're going to pick these cards. Fox, I'm going to riffle my thumb down just like this, and whenever you say stop, I'll stop.
Stop.
Right there? Okay, here we go. Got 1, 2, 3 cards. Let's take a look. What do we have? The 5 of hearts, Queen of spades, and 7 of clubs. Here we go. Let's do this. Jennifer, I'm going to have you remember the Queen of spades. All right, you remember the Queen of spades. And Steve, that 7 of clubs, that one's yours. You got it. Now, Fox, you're going to hold on to the 5 of hearts for me. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to write your name on that card. Are you right-handed? Okay, this should be fun. Here we go. And really, I mean, if I'm being honest, there's no reason. Your left-handed writing looks better than my right-handed writing. So that's pretty good. There's really no reason for me to do this, other than I just like to collect cards with names on them.
That's weird.
I don't think I'm gonna say that anymore. My bad. Okay, here we go. Jennifer, you're gonna be the first one. Here we go. We'll take your Queen of spades. Take your Queen of spades, and we're gonna put it in the middle, and then we'll cut the deck up and lose your card in the middle. We'll shuffle it up even. All right, the next one, we're gonna take the 7 of clubs. Steve, that's yours. You remember the 7? Here we go. And then Fox, last but not least, we're gonna take your card. We'll take your card last, put it in the middle. Your card with your name on it in the middle. Shuffled up, mixed into the deck, just like this. Now remember, I'm going to find these 3 cards in increasingly difficult fashion. And here's the first one. Just like that. The 7 of clubs. Steve, your card jumps up to the top. Here we go, we'll put that right in there. Now, the next one. Here we go. Jennifer, this is yours. All we got to do is I'm going to drop these cards just like this. And you're gonna say stop. I'm gonna listen for you to say stop, and whenever you say it, I'm gonna stop, and your card is gonna end up right on top there, okay? Here we go. Right there. Did you hear it? I heard it. There it is. Your card, the Queen of spades, the 9 of diamonds. Okay, fine. Here we go, let's try it again. We'll try it again, that's okay. Remember, just like we practiced, Jennifer, come on. Tell me when to stop. Ah! Nope, that doesn't count. Right here, your card, the Queen of spades, just like that. Okay, 10 clubs. Nope. You know what? No, actually, that wouldn't make it any more difficult. What would make it more difficult is if I had your card folded up inside my wallet. That would be a bit more difficult. You can take it here. Actually, I'm going to come and take a look. In here, there's one card, and one card only. It is your Queen of spades. Just like that. Sweet. All right, and here we go. We'll put that in there as well. Just like that. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how we find 3 cards.
But hey, you didn't find my card, dude.
Oh.
I mean, I'm standing right here.
You are. No, actually I did from the beginning. You remember in the beginning you had your hand on one card before you wrote your name on a card, before any cards were selected, you had your hand on a card. Go ahead, do me a favor, pick up your hands. The last one that we just found was that Queen of Spades. The one right before that was the Seven of Clubs, but the card that you've had your hand on from the beginning, before anything was written down, was your 5. All right, guys, hey, that's it. I hope you enjoy your church service, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey there, friends. Welcome back. Weekend Live, 7 p.m. every Sunday. We're glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us again. I'm Brian Fisher. I'd like to get started with a few announcements. The first thing is make sure you're following our social media pages. The first one is M1 Student Ministries on Facebook. Then if you're on Instagram, go ahead and give us a follow at M1 Student Ministries. And the last one is M1 Student Ministries on the YouTube channel. See those for all your photos and videos and devotionals throughout the week. We're glad to do this for you, and we've got some new things coming up. The first thing that we're having is a Will You Go to Prom With Me challenge, a prom dance challenge. Holy cow, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. And I tell you what, we've been challenged by CYMT, which is the Center for Youth Ministry Training. They have challenged us, our youth group, in fact, to do a prom challenge. Now, what we're going to have to do is get on Zoom, and we're going to dress up like we're going to prom, and we're going to play a dance music for a couple minutes. We'll dance. We'll record that Zoom. We'll record that Zoom video. Oh gosh, I'm stumbling over my words. And then we'll send it to CYMT. Now, why this is important? Because if we are good enough, we will get a prize. Yes, I know you like that. Thanks for clapping. But if we lose, we don't get anything. So there's that. Well, it had to be said. I mean, I know some people assume that, but you never know. So, yes, so we're participating in a Zoom challenge. If you were planning on going to prom, please go to that link that will be sent to you. Dress in what you were going to dress up in as prom. If you didn't know, dress in something funky, and let's get down. Now, you might be wondering, what does this look like? Take a look at this video. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, baby. Come on. Okay. CYMT Prom Challenge. We're going to send that to you this week. Hey, friends. Last week we learned of an instructional video on cross country by our friend Matt McGill. We're going to take a look at Matt on how to be an Olympic champion. Check this one out.
Welcome to another edition of Matt McGill's Sports Instructional Videos. As you know, I'm a superstar athlete. What you may not know, I'm also an Olympian. That's right, the decathlon. I am a super athlete. This week, you're going to learn what it takes to prepare for the Olympics. I am the greatest athlete there ever was. I know I'm going to get my call. I'm going to carry the torch. The torch is a symbol of glory. It's a symbol of honor. So therefore, when I practice, I put my symbol of glory and honor. The hot dog. That's right, this train's bound for Olympic glory. Okay, I'm through with that. Back to training. If you're going to be a gold medal athlete, you got to train hard. You got to train long. If you're going to be ready to go for the gold, you got to use things you're familiar with. I hang out in the kitchen. I hang out on the computer. I use items around the house so I can train to be a champion. Every Olympian knows that the hill has to be part of your training regimen. Now, average athletes, average Olympians, people who come home with the silver or the bronze, they know how to take a hill, but me, I'm coming home with the gold, and I know how to conquer a hill. Watch closely. The pit. For most Olympians, the pit's the enemy. For me, it's my closest friend. I hang out in the pit. I own the pit. I'm the master of the pit. I throw myself a toga party in the pit. I hang out. I'm Zeus of the pit. I have a little Twinkie on the barbecue. I'm ready to go. I'm relaxed. Look at me here on the cover of my favorite magazine. At some point, every Olympic athlete's going to face distance running. That's right, and you need to be ready. You need to start training. You need to be prepared. Now, I found a course that has taken me to the gold. Don't feel like you can be at that course. You need to find something that's right for you. Don't bite off more than you can chew. I'm ready to go. What does Matt always say? That's right, you gotta go for the gold. My championship moment's coming up here in a few days. You never know when your championship moment's gonna come, and you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to go. Discipline, self-sacrifice. Okay, what does Matt always say? That's right, go for the gold!
Thanks, Matt. Boy, what a champion. Wish we could all be like that. Hey, it's come time for our message tonight. As you know, we give a message of hope every Sunday night, and we started it 2 weeks ago with the Reverend Amanda Christ, our good friend over at the Wesley. Thanks, Amanda, for sharing that message with us. This past week was Easter, as we've gotten into the Easter season and starts on Easter Sunday, and we heard a message of hope in the sunrise service. And now we have our next speaker. Our speaker is Kat Keller. Kat is the youth director at Fulton First United Methodist Church. She's going to explain more about who she is, where she comes from, and her message to us. So take it away, Kat.
Hey guys. I want to start tonight by asking a question. And this question is, how do we handle suffering, grief, and even just situations that are completely out of our control? Because if we're being honest, the world right now is pretty out of control. It's pretty far from normal. So has the coronavirus caused you fear or uncertainty? Have the situations in your life ever caused you to forget who God is? Because they have in mine. But God never loses control. And we need to remember that. And that's something I want us to remember as we go throughout this evening. But first, I feel like I need to introduce myself. My name is Kat. B-Rye, Bryant Fisher is one of my good friends from CYMT, and I'm the youth pastor at Fulton First United Methodist Church just down the road. I've gotten to hang out with you guys a couple of times. I don't know if any of y'all remember, it's been a while, but I'm really honored that I got asked to hang out with you guys tonight, even if it is through the internet. But I feel like you need to know some things about me before I share with you. First, and most importantly, I have a dachshund, a mini weenie dog, and his name is Winston, and he is the best. Like, seriously, ask Bryant if he is not the cutest thing he's ever seen. He won't be able to tell you no. I love soccer. I played soccer in high school. I played soccer in college. I love the game. And I also love youth ministry. I think it's so cool that I get to hang out with teenagers every week, teenagers like you, and I think that you guys can do really cool things and really dope things, and I love to hear your thoughts and the way your brains process things and the way you guys know God, because it's so cool. I just think it's so neat that God uses teenagers, that God works in your life, and that God's doing things. So know that I believe in you, and I believe in that. And as you may have guessed from my intro, my name is Kat, and I have issues with control. So kind of threw that in there casually, right? But if I'm being honest, I really like to be in control. I like to do things on my own. I don't really like to ask for help. So this leads me to a place where, in a lot of ways, I tend to forget that God is God and that I'm not, that he is the one who created me so he could use me, not the other way around. So needless to say, I forget to remember who my God is a lot. And I've noticed throughout Scripture, there tend to be some people like me in it. There tend to be some people who forget who their God is. There tend to be some people who try to do things on their own instead of doing things God's way. Take Abraham, for example. He and his wife, pretty old at this point, right? I think Abraham's 100 when God comes to him in Genesis 18 and says, in 1 year, you and Sarah are gonna have a son. And Sarah laughed. But guess what? God came through, and a year later they had a son and named him Isaac. And I think about the Israelites as another example. They were slaves in Egypt, right? Like Pharaoh was ruling over them and taking advantage of them. And God appointed Moses to lead them out of that time. And Moses gets to the Red Sea as they're fleeing, and he obeys God's commands, and the water split in half. And the Israelites walk right through on dry ground. And then the Lord closes the water back on their enemies. But right after that, in Exodus 32, Moses goes to the mountain to talk to God, to get the 10 Commandments, right? And the Israelites are down there by themselves, and they decided, Moses is taking too long. Like, where did he go? What happened? We need a God we can worship right now. They didn't trust Moses. They sure didn't trust God. So they built themselves a golden calf. They took things into their own hands instead of remembering the God who had literally just delivered them from slavery. And then I think about Peter. Peter walked with Jesus, right? He was a disciple. He followed Jesus everywhere. He got to do life alongside Jesus. Like, how cool is that? He was willing to take up his sword and defend Jesus before he went to the cross. But then he got a little scared when things got tough. And people started saying, hey, aren't you the guy who was hanging out with Jesus? And he said, no, that wasn't me. And he didn't just do that once. And he didn't just do that twice. He denied Jesus 3 times. This dude who had done life with Jesus for years denied that he even knew him. Peter had forgotten who his God was. And in this time of uncertainty, I've kind of found myself getting sucked into fear. I found myself forgetting that God is in control of a situation, wondering what we're going to do, what I need to do. Everything is different, right? Like, we've been living life one way pretty much our entire lives to find it completely different. And we can't do the things we're used to. And I don't like it. I don't like the uncertainty. I don't like the fact that you guys aren't getting to go about school. You're not getting to finish your school year the way you're supposed to. Seniors, like, this is not cool. And all of you guys should get to finish school. All of you guys should get to play your spring sports and be a part of your choir activities and all the things that you do. And you know what stinks too is that we should have March Madness games to get us through this time. Go Tigers, Memphis all the way. But seriously, in this is a form of grieving. Grieving that life isn't going quite like we've planned. Things have happened that are completely out of our control. And people are suffering. There's a lot of different forms of that, but people are suffering. And we can't just white knuckle it and just say, we're going to make it out of this. We're going to do it our way. We can't do this by ourselves. This isn't something we snap our fingers and fix. So the question becomes, how do we handle this suffering, this grief, the things that happen that are bad and that are out of our control? And this makes me think of another story in the Bible. Have you ever heard of the book of Job? So Job was this dude who was unbelievably faithful to God. And Job had pretty much had life going for him, right? He's pretty well off. He's got a lot of family. He's got a lot of friends. He's got a lot of livestock. And that's a big deal in his time. But Satan decides to come after Job. And God pretty much, he just tells Satan, hey, like, you can't lay a finger on the man, but you can try to mess with him and see what happens. He's going to still have faith in me. And Job basically loses everything. Not even really basically, like Job loses everything. And Job had a lot. Job lost his wife. Job lost his kids. Job lost his servants, his livestock. He lost it all. But the book of Job is not about Job losing everything. The book of Job is a response. And Job's response to all of this suffering was to continue worshiping God. Job didn't go to church and go through the motions kind of worship. Job's worship was real. It was authentic, it was vulnerable, and it was honest. Job continued to acknowledge that although his situation was really bad, God was still in it. And Job was not going to let his circumstances diminish his faith in God. And that's how Job worshiped. In the middle of fear and frustration and loss and grief and confusion, Job cried out to God in his pain, and he continued to worship him. Job couldn't explain it. He couldn't understand why all of these things had happened to him, but he knew he was going to bless the Lord. And so I think about this and I'm like, man, I want to have a mindset. I want to have a faith like Job had. And y'all, this is a mindset we have to fight for. Job didn't have this kind of faith because he went to church on Sunday and Wednesday once a week. Job had this kind of faith because he was a fighter. He fought by worshiping God in the hard times, but also in the good times. He fought by praying, by being in community, by being vulnerable with God and with himself. And Job was holding on to God no matter what came at him. And you want to know why? This God that Job was holding on to, Job knew, man. Job knew that God was greater than anything in this world. And we just got to celebrate the incredible gift of Easter, right? Where Jesus conquered death. He defeated it. He said, not today, Satan, not any day, Satan. We have a Jesus. We have a God who suffered, who was rejected, who took on our pain, our sorrow, and he experienced suffering in an intense degree. So y'all, when we go through suffering, when we go through hard times, Jesus knows how we feel. And spoiler alert, Jesus wins. God is in control, and we are not. So in the midst of situations that are scary and they're out of our control, it's so easy for us to forget who our God is. It is so easy for us to lose hope. Because when we let fear in, there's an absence of hope. Fear gives us reasons not to try, but hope gives us all of the reasons to keep going. And one of my mentors once said that we need to glance at our fear, but gaze upon our God. So in this time, I want us to remember who our God is, not forget it. I want us to hold on for dear life, just like Job. And I want us to fight for that hope by getting in God's word and reading story after story where Jesus comes through, even if the humans that he's using in that moment forget about him. God can handle us being honest with him. God can handle our prayers of fear and frustrations. He handled Job's. Tell those things to God. Be honest with him. Please do that. But don't you dare stop fighting for hope. Don't you dare stop trusting that he is in control and that he has a plan. And that he needs you to hold on to your faith in this moment for dear life. And I want to close tonight with a quote from a man that I think is so cool. And he speaks so much truth. If you haven't heard of Bob Goff, you need to go check him out. But Bob Goff says, the way we deal with uncertainty says a lot about whether Jesus is ahead of us leading or behind us just carrying our stuff. And y'all, I like to carry my own stuff. And I like to lead. But that's not what God asks of us. Jesus didn't come to this earth to live a perfect life, take on my sin, defeat death, and do all of those things so that I could lead him. He did that so he could lead me, so that he could lead us. So let's cling to Jesus, man. Let's let the Lord lead us in this time. And let's trust that He knows what He's doing, even if we don't understand it. But most of all, let's not forget who our God is. So as you go out through this week, I just hope that that's something we remember. I hope that's something encouraging for this time. And I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate Bryant for letting me hang out with you guys. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. Know that your leaders love you. You got a man who is crazy about you guys. Bryant loves you. Know that I've been praying for you. And that I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and that we just get through this coronavirus situation together, and that the Lord just provides, and that He performs a miracle, and that we get to go back to normal life soon. But until then, Lord, let's cling to who God is, to the God who's bigger than all the things in our life. See you guys later.
Thanks, Kat, for that message of hope. We appreciate you not only doing youth ministry in Fulton, but allowing a time where you can give us a message that we can take as someone that's not part of our church. And like we said, this comes every single week. Every Sunday night we'll have someone different than myself that gives the message. And again, thanks, Kat, for delivering that for us tonight. Hey, let's get rid of a gift. So, you know what that sound means. It's time for prize winner giveaway. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have names on the screen, and whoever the TV picks gets a Higher Ground gift card tonight delivered. Now, what we need you to do if you win is you have to snap a picture with the prize, because some people are doubting that anyone's actually winning. So the last 2 times we've given away pizza. Okay, we do have a photo of our first week. Lake Chester did have proof, but we didn't put it on here. But there is proof that he got a pizza. And the week after that was Mr. Grayson Gillum. Mr. Grayson Gillum also won a pizza. And this week we're giving away Higher Ground. Are you with me? So, our little doohickey's going to spin and land on a name, and we'll see who it is. Are you ready for it? Now, here we go. Okay. Okay. Hey! Wow. Good job. Good job, EG. All right. EG wins our Higher Ground gift card tonight. Remember, this is every single Sunday night we give away a prize, and EG gets it this time. So, EG, expect a Higher Ground gift card in the mailbox tonight. And make sure you snap a photo with the card at some point, okay? All right, so, hey, we're glad you're all here with us, and we're going to stand in our homes, as awkward as it might be. So stand up. We're going to cross our arms. Remember, cross your arms together, taking this one over, and then we'll say the benediction. It'll come on the screen, and then we'll go in at the end of it and say I'm in and fly out like a cocoon, okay? That's how we're going to do it. So take a look at the screen, and as soon as I find our benediction, there it is. Okay, here we go. Sadie, why don't you go ahead and start us off? I'm just kidding. We can't hear you. Okay, is everybody ready? Well, I hope you are. I can't hear you. So here we go. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen. Woo! All right. Have a good week. Hey, Daryl is back tomorrow with new videos. We've got a Zoom hangout 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. And we've got other fun stuff happening. So, oh my gosh, I didn't tell you. I got to sit back down. You guys, I can't believe I forgot this. Shame on me. So, we are going to start a podcast. A podcast. Are you in on the podcast game? I thought so. So, what's going to happen is we're going to have a new podcast coming up soon, and we're going to be showing things that are fun things that we always do, and then we're going to be talking about our faith and the culture of youth, culture of teens, your age people. We're going to be talking to students. We're going to be talking to parents. We're going to be talking to volunteers. We're going to be doing this for at least for right now during the quarantine, and we might continue it after if we enjoy it enough. So we're going to be streaming on 2 platforms. The places that you can find us are one, Facebook, and we'll probably upload it on YouTube as well. But as far as like live streaming, Facebook and Anchor FM. Anchor FM is a platform that a lot of podcast listeners use. And so we're going to go to Anchor FM. You can download it in the App Store. Anchor FM. The podcast is called Listen Up. Listen Up. Listen Up. Get it? Whoa. Mind blown. Yeah, I know. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to debut in a couple weeks, our first episode. It's going to be a cool, different format. We don't know when we will do it during the week, but it's going to be happening. You can guarantee that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be calling you in on a couple segments we do, and because we want to have an interaction with you that's not just you listening to us, okay? So we want to be able to have some type of connection with you. So that's going to be happening. Check that out. Hey guys, have a great week. We'll see you on Zoom call. Zoom call if you're a student. 6th through 12th, you're invited to our Zoom call. If you do not have our messaging service, you're going to need to get that, and you're going to need to get on that text group. Students, you see that there. Parents, you see that there if you're not in on it. And hey, if you are a 5th grader going into 6th grade, you're about to be contacted by me and by some other fun, friendly people in our youth group. Stay tuned with that if you're coming up into 6th grade. And we've got so much going on right now. It's so much fun. Hey, have a good week. We'll see you in this next week. Okay? God's peace. Peace out.